Hi there, Rudolf here from Omni Systems Limited. So I wanted to do a video on Eufloria Classic. Now, Eufloria Classic is an anniversary release of a game we made in 2009, Eufloria. We being Alex May, myself and Brian Granger as Milieu did the music. This was an early indie, well, dare I say hit, or at least quite a well-liked release. And back in the day we developed a very nice community around it, where we were blessed with a lot of fans creating mods for it, new levels, and unfortunately that has been allowed to slip away. So the game hasn't been available for quite a while. It was surpassed by other versions that had new features, new content, but within that process the ability to mod the original game was lost. So since it's coming up to an anniversary date, we want to actually re-release the old game with all the modding features intact and some bonus content. So I would like to do a series of videos where I show you what that means, what kind of new stuff we're adding, but also make it interesting from a design point of view, from an indie games development point of view, and I'll just try to provide as much interesting commentary as possible, interesting both for gamers as well as game developers and anybody else who would like to see content like this on our channel. Before diving into actual game dev stuff, maybe it makes more sense if I explain a little bit about the game itself, how it works, what the standard game loop is like, what the rules are, to provide a little bit of context for what I'm trying to edit for this new release. So I'm just going to load a level and talk a little bit about the original rules of Eufloria before getting on to Eufloria Classic, the anniversary release, and the edits we're trying to do for it. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at one of the old levels, all the way back 2009. Still fun, I think. Let me grab a skirmish arena level. These levels are just meant to be replayable. They don't belong to the campaign. I'm just gonna pick the first one. So Eufloria is in some ways an RTS, in some ways a so-called 4X game, and in some ways kind of hard to define what it is really, an ambient game. Let me show you. So this is me. This asteroid belongs to me. It has energy, strength and speed stats. These are different for every asteroid, and they all are meant to inform the attributes of whatever you grow on them. In this case, I've got 3 trees on there, 4 are possible in total, and these buttons here let me plant either a regular Dyson tree, as they are called, or a defense tree. Now let's have a look. You can zoom in really far in this game, as you can see, which is very pretty because you can see it grow. And you notice these blobs on here, they are actually the seedlings, there you go, that you can control as part of your empire, your little army. So you literally grow your own units on here. You can send them away for scouting. Let's give that a go. Now one of these guys will be picked to fly here and see what's on this asteroid. Here he goes. Boop, boop, boop. So there's a fog of war, and by the time he gets there he'll tell us what's next to us. Who's our neighbor? Oh, it's unoccupied. It doesn't have the best stats, but if I want to, I can send a bunch of my seedlings there and plant a tree. Maybe I'll do that. You need 10 seedlings to plant a tree and claim a new asteroid to add it to your empire. Like right now, this is quite a big asteroid, so it has a big range. I can send to all of these within my range, but not beyond. So in this case, if I were to take over this one, it doesn't add much to my range, but still, it gives me a new asteroid. Somebody else is there. I better hurry. I'm going to send a force of, let's say, 25 of my seedlings there. Well, 24, whatever. Here we go. Oh, in the new version of the game, the anniversary version, we added some nice speed up buttons, so you don't have to wait too long. So this is double speed. Right, and the moment I have enough seeds in orbit here, I can press a button to plant a tree, and you will see, this is pretty cool, they're landing in the soil, some of my seedlings, and the reason that is done that way, let me slow it down a little bit, is that the resources are actually in the level rather than creating factories or anything like that. You grow your own units based on the soil or asteroid resources to develop seedlings, allies with different abilities, really. So they are your currency. You have to grow new ones in order to create more trees that then grow different kinds of seedlings. Like these ones have really long noses, tiny bodies, long wings. That means they're fairly strong, fairly fast, but they don't have a lot of health, which you can see here. Little health, quite a bit of strength, fairly fast, not bad. One thing that's quite interesting is the level of detail code written a long time ago by my friend and co-creator Alex, and that allows us to have a lot of entities on screen. So you can see these little dots. Well, I can fly in, and there you go. Very nicely you can get to quite close detail. Same thing with the trees, but if you zoom out, they become icons, really. So that you always can see what you need to see about your strategic and tactical resources. So I can always see there's a regular tree, a defense tree, and another regular tree, and this one has something on it. Let's go have a look. It's a flower. I've plucked it. Now, flowers can be used to enhance your trees. So in this case, if I use the flower to enhance a regular tree, it will create super seedlings. Or if I use the flower to enhance a defensive tree, it will create mines, laser mines, which is fun. Let's do that. Let's have a look. There he goes. He's very slow. And boom, there we go. He's going to go find a tree now, the defense tree. And once he gets there, plant himself or itself in the soil next to it, and you can see it right here. Oh, that's a bit too close. There, something new is growing. This is a laser mine, which has its own fun, unique capabilities, but still based on these attributes. Oh, sorry, these attributes here. So if I want a really fast laser mine, I should grow one on a very fast asteroid. Is he done? Yes. Fear my laser mine. So these are some ways in which you can create quite unique unit types. It's quite elegant, and it remains organic looking and kind of natural. I still think it's pretty, even all this time after the original game was made, which was 2008, first released in 2009. Let's have another look. Who else is out there? Because I'm doing this at a nice sedate rate, but in the meantime, other people, well, they're not people, other cellular automata are doing their own work, and some of it will not be for my benefit, I can tell you that. Here are some that have abandoned this asteroid, probably out trying to conquer somebody else's territory, so I'm going to do that to them instead. I'm going to send my entire army. Here we go, look at them go. They're a bit slow, let's speed it up. Hop, hop. And let's have war. Floral space war. There we go. Now you can see the stats. Oh, all the enemies are nearly gone. Oh, although this is kind of funny. They have sent the cavalry. And they're gone again. Nice. Thank you. I think when the odds are really against them, they will flee rather than sacrifice themselves. Let me slow down a bit. So my seedlings are attacking the enemy trees as well as the enemy seedlings. And what happens is if one of the trees is taken down, it will create a path into the center of the asteroid. And no, I did not manage. But I have more troops. Let's try that again. Because these trees also recover their health after a while. Let's see if this is going to work this time. I suspect I'm not going to be able to conquer this asteroid. Which, you know, it shows that it doesn't pay to be greedy. This is actually a very strong asteroid. The trees are strong. The seedlings defending it will be very powerful. So I don't think I'm going to make it. It doesn't look good. As you can see, my force is nearly depleted. Oh dear. Right, fine. Just for fun though, let me send this laser mine. In the meantime, I'm going to send this flower to my base asteroid so I can create super seedlings. But let's have a look at what this guy's going to do. Speed him up a bit. Look at him go. Let's have a look. Oh, someone at the door. I better pause this video. Right, let's pick this up again. I forgot to pause the game earlier when I stopped the recording. So a lot has happened since, but that might actually help in explaining how the game works. So let's pick it up again. I'm no longer attacking this asteroid. It's now owned by a green team. Let's go back to my original one. This now has been taken over. Oh, this is pretty good. You can see the tree that was here to conquer it has been destroyed. So if I send some of my seedlings there, let's do this number here. Oh, and here you can see is an enemy attacking a blue team. The tree has been taken down and they are entering the root system. And they've depleted the defenses. And now their new trees are growing on there. Same thing with my effort. I've taken over this asteroid. It's immediately under attack. So I'm going to send a few more there to defend it and possibly plant a defense tree. Oh, one of my flowers, I haven't used it. I was going to create super seedlings, wasn't I? So there we go. Oh dear, this one is oscillating ownership. Right. Let's have a slightly broader look in a sec. I am going to see if I can claim this back. There it is. I'm going to plant a defensive tree as well. God, it's very much under constant attack, this place. That's more like it. Right, okay. So, this is part of the game. You want to defend against expanding enemies while protecting your own empire, but at the same time you have to get out there and see what you can conquer yourself. So you have to make judgment calls on who looks vulnerable, how to use your troops. Like I said, I didn't pause, so all that time that I was away, which was about 10 minutes, other empires have been growing, while I did nothing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into cheat mode, and in cheat mode I can activate certain menus that give me useful information. For example, I can see who else is in this level, and I think a lot of enemies have been destroyed already, but I can make them visible to me without having to contend with the fog of war. So in this case, that's faction number 2, which is the Greens, and faction 6, well, probably these lilac ones. I'm going to turn off the camera limitation because normally you can't see beyond your camera empire sphere of influence. I'm going to turn that off and zoom out, and oh my god, look at this. And this is me. I don't fancy my own chances. I may have to restart this level. I can still try, of course, it might be fun. Either way, this gives you a good idea on a typical Eufloria level. There's territory to control. Asteroids allow you to create different types of units, or at least they have different attributes. And I guess different types of units because you have mines as well and super seedlings, things like that. And there's generally a mission or a series of missions, more so in the campaign levels. But even in these very replayable levels, and this is very much replayable with different configurations every time you play, where in this case the goal is to not be defeated, of course, not to lose all your territory, but also to take over the large enemy asteroids and hopefully use that as a springboard to defeat your enemies. Anyway, is there any point of doing this? I can start a tiny little outpost here on this sad little weak planet. Oops, sorry, this sad little weak planet. I don't think I'm gonna make it, but who knows. I'll save that for another time though. It will take too long to try and play this to its logical conclusion. Let me limit the camera again, turn off knowledge I don't have. Here we go. Now we can only see what I've actually discovered. There, this is what it really looks like. It doesn't look so intimidating now. I mean, we have secret knowledge of what's going on elsewhere in this asteroid belt. Anyway, there's a lot more to it. I'll save that for future videos. But this gives you an idea on how the game works and what's going to be preserved in the anniversary release and what's going to be added to it. I'll wrap it up for now, and thanks for watching. Hope to see you soon in the next video. Bye.